Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to go over our watch list. We had some members ask about this and really ask about, what's the point of this watch list? Why are we putting this out? And, how do I use this throughout each day and each session? So we're just going to break down the watch list. This is in our Discord. We've got a private Discord that's going to be for day trading education. We go over all kinds of things, guys. We just go over, mostly we're trading low float stocks in our group. Stocks with momentum, stocks usually between $1 and $10 roughly, give or take, sometimes cheaper, sometimes a little bit more expensive, but low float and looking for momentum. Now we do trade Tesla, SPY, things like that as well. We've got swing trade channels, but that's besides the point. We're going to focus here on really the watch list itself, which is one of the channels that we have available. So each night I go ahead and I screen just thousands and thousands of stocks using a stock scanner that I built with Trade Ideas. And this is one of many layouts, guys. This is just a end of day type of layout. Each scanner here, it looks like a complete mess, I know. But what it is really just a breakdown of different filters and different types of stocks. And that's how we compile this watch list that we put together each night. So if I pull the watch list back over again from our Discord, you're going to see here in the watch list, we've got a few different categories, right? We've got the early bird watch, we've got the trendy tickers, we've got the micro watch, 52-week lows, volume watch, continuation watch, and our short squeeze watch. Now we'll break down each one of these and what they mean, but really, to be honest with you guys, as important as this watch list is, this is just to let us get prepared before the move actually happens. So even though we have a number of stocks on here, the whole point of the watch list is really to get ourselves prepared for the following day. So this is posted today at 7:30, and then tomorrow when I come in trading around 8 a.m., I'll be looking at these names first and seeing if they're hitting our scanners. And if not, of course, we're going to let the scanners do the heavy lifting and let us know where's the value in the market. So right now, this is where some of the value is in the market. XBP, GOVX, SUGP, AZI, and WKHS. This is for our early bird crew. Now, we've got alerts that come into chat. We've got real-time alerts all the way from 4 a.m. in the morning all the way till 8 p.m. at night Eastern time. So if you're an early bird, if you like to trade that early window, that 4 a.m. window to 7 a.m., well, then that's going to be the list that typically you should be watching, because what this is a lot of these stocks are already gapping up in the aftermarket and they're showing some value. They're showing some volume. They're showing some volatility. They're showing the signs that we like as a day trader or day traders. So we're looking to, again, develop a game plan for those stocks. So XBP, GOVX, SUGP, just now I heard BURU's on the Find It First scanner, so we could add BURU to that list as well, which is a cheap stock under $1. But all of these stocks, what's happening is they're gapping up either today on the day or in the aftermarket. And for our early bird crew, usually, typically the 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. window or 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. when I come in, that's typically what you should be looking at for something that's trending in the morning. So if you're looking for something with a pop, then this is probably where you want to focus if you're looking for those early hours. So that's our early bird watch. Moving down here are trendy tickers. Now, trendy tickers is basically just a list of tickers that were really trending today in different chat rooms, different maybe on Twitter or maybe just in general. Maybe they've got a lot of relative volume as well. So not always tradable stocks. Some of these might be acquisitions sometimes. Sometimes they're something that's going on there news-wise that's going to inhibit the volatility that we're looking for. So you want to make sure that, again, this is to prepare ourselves. So looking at this list, you can see some of the same names here: XBP, GOVX. So what happens is when we see multiple names, on this list, on different lists here, then that's going to add to my conviction. That means, maybe it's moving up to the top of the list for me to start marking the chart, setting some alerts, and really just to get prepared that next day or for that next day. That way, once the volume arrives, I don't have to scramble and start putting together my game plan. I'm already prepared. And that's, a good part of becoming a professional day trader is that preparation is key. That's, being prepared is how you're not going to be apprehensive. If you're not prepared, you may be apprehensive. So XBP, GOVX, those are repetitive. We've got those. So, okay, we want to make sure that we're marking those charts and we're setting some alerts, and we'll pull up a chart here in a minute. BCG, WKHS, BTCT. So again, a few different names that are on this list. WKHS is on this list as well, so you may see it on a few other lists. So here's WKHS down here as well. So again, if you see it multiple times, all that's saying is it's hitting different scanner feeds here and basically giving a lot of value, and we just want to be prepared in case we're looking to trade that stock. So we want to give a heads up. So moving down, micro watch. The micro watch is interesting. This is for our micro float traders. Now, I like to trade micro floats myself. Some traders don't. A micro float is a float size that's less than 1 million share float. Typically, these stocks are going to move very quickly, whether they have volume or not. So sometimes they're going to have those very wide spreads. So we want to be careful. But this is going to be that list. So MAXN, and this again is according to Trade Ideas scanners. So always verify this, and that's the point of this again too. So that way we know going into tomorrow's session, we can say, Maxin, MAXN, it's showing a low float on Trade Ideas, but maybe I want to check, like FinViz or Yahoo or Benzinga or something else, somewhere else to get that float size to compare that, because of course we're not just taking the facts from one source, we're using multiple sources to really compile our game plan here. So MAXN is showing a micro float on Trade Ideas. GLXG, again, showing a micro float on Trade Ideas. So all of these are going to show that very low float, which again means red flags. That is a red flag. We do expect choppy price action when trading something like that, but that's okay. We have that in mind. We know that, okay, if EFSH pops on the scanner, I have an alert set telling me, hey, this is a low float, micro float type of stock. Be careful, maybe reduce your size, tighten up that stop, that mental stop loss, and protect yourself in the event that it pulls back. Now, ACAB, LIPO, a few others to watch. Now, they may have lower volume. They may not have as much interest, but we are going to keep these on the list for watching because, again, Trade Ideas is showing these as a micro float, so very small float there. So that's this list here. 52-week lows. This is going to be stocks that are hitting or near 52-week lows, so yearly lows here. So QLGN, SOBR, VRPX, and VSTE. Now, this isn't typically where I like to trade. This isn't the list that I typically like to, eye for my type of trading. I'm more of a bullish momentum type trader. But in our community, we have many different traders, right? So we've built this list to really to aid and add value for everyone. It's not just built for just me in mind. Again, I may not trade these type of stocks, but again, if they hit the scanner, and we're getting lots of volume, then hey, I'll take a lotto trade on something like this. But it's not something that I'm going to be, jumping for joy for, because typically continuation is not going to be those stocks hitting 52-week lows. The ones that are really going to give us that move is going to have the volume, the news, and a few different factors there for that recipe for success. So typically it's going to come off the early bird crew, trendy tickers, sometimes that micro 52-week lows if you're into those bounce watch type of plays or the reversals or something that's just been beaten up. This is where you want to look on that list there. Now our volume watch, this is my go-to really. This is the stocks that I'm really looking for volume, and they have a great potential of breaking out if, and there's a major if here, if they have the volume. For me, again, if you guys have been trading with me, a lot of you have for years, you know that no volume, no trade. That's my number one rule. Now, if I'm trading low volume, that's okay. I can trade low volume, right? But I have to make adjustments to my size and mental stop level, or even a hard stop sometimes if it's a real small size. So volume watch here. This is just stocks that I'm watching for volume. That's going to be SUGP, BTM, REVB, GOVX again is coming up on multiple lists here, so we might want to check that one out. PWM is another one to watch. So volume watch here, basically setting alerts and looking for any volume spikes on these for a possible scalp type of play. And again, we'll pull the charts up to then analyze, is it a scalp play or is it a continuation play? And I'll show you how you can see that quickly. Continuation watch. Now this is doing the work for you. This is looking for stocks that have potential to continue. And this is where bullish momentum and that squeeze type of momentum really can come into play, because what happens is it starts a short squeeze out of their positions because it stops them out as it continues to go higher and higher and higher. So this is continuation watch. So these are the stocks that I'm watching for possible continuation, not only throughout the day, but possibly throughout the week. So you want to set alerts for these and make sure that they're ongoing alerts. But BTDR, AZI, PGY, there's WKHS again. So again, we want to pull that one up, make sure that we're marking our levels on that one. LEDS, there's GOVX again. We'll pull up the chart on that one. And SUGP is on multiple lists as well. So again, this is our continuation watch. This list here has greater potential for continuation. That is the point of this list. This is specifically filtered for stocks that have that potential to continue, right? These other stocks that are not on this list, then typically what they have is more of a bounce watch, more of a choppy reversal type watch, maybe like the 52-week lows, where they're going to have that choppy price action because there's bag holders after bag holders after bag holders, right? Just holding on to those positions, and it's creating resistance, 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 and it's making choppy price action. But continuation watch here, if you're looking for continuation, you're looking for some of these, sometimes we'll move on lower volume, but still continue to grind up. So if you're looking for a slow grinder, it may be here. But of course, if we get that heavy volume, it can really start to squeeze shorts out of their position. Now, speaking of shorts, right, in that short squeeze, which again is my favorite type of setup, that momentum, that bullish momentum, that squeeze. What happens is shorts start to get squeezed out of their position. The price just bulls right up. It goes up, 5, 10, 15% in a single 1 minute candle. And before you know it, you're making some really hefty returns on your trade. So short squeeze watch, this is going to be NUWE, TPST, EFSH, and TIGR. Now, this is according to Trade Idea Scanners. I'm using Trade Idea Scanners to build this watch list. According to Trade Idea Scanners, each one of these has a fairly high short percentage of their float, right? So the percentage of their float, a decent amount of it is basically showing that is a short sellers are involved in that. And basically, again, they may have to cover soon. So I want to check that type of information. And what I'm looking for is a possible breakout. If it starts to squeeze and break out, well, those shorts have to cover their position. They have to buy in. It squeezes the price higher. And that's where I make my money. That's where I love to scalp those type of moves. Now, typically, this is not something that I love to hold on to, depending on the chart layout that we have. And again, that's the whole point of this, guys. The point of the watch list here is to really break down stocks to watch for the next day and really to see, is there any value there? Is there something there that's maybe fitting the strategy that I love to trade? Is there something out there that's, we're just waiting on volume. We're just waiting on that percentage change. We're waiting on something that if we see it, well, we're good to go. So we want to check all the boxes here first and then just wait for that final box to check. So if it's volume that you're looking for, set your alert for volume and you're good to go. So GOVX, I'm going to pull this one up on a chart. So again, it came up on multiple charts here, or multiple lists here, excuse me. So that means, we want to focus in on possible outcomes on GOVX. We want to make sure that we're setting alerts. So if I pull this up and I reset the chart and zoom out, you're going to see, let me see, I'll shrink this down a little bit. This is the volume histogram down below. And we'll look at GOVX's move. Now, you can see down below on our histogram, you can see very low volume right down here. This is showing the volume. So if we're seeing red candles or red histogram bars and yellow histogram bars, basically it's saying that there's moderate to low volume. There's not a lot of volume there, right? There's not. So as I hover over a few of these candles, you can see the volume right here in red as it hovers over each one. This candle has 800 shares. This candle has 2,400 shares, 600 shares, right? So if I'm looking to trade 5,000 shares, 10,000 shares, 20,000 shares, well, then something like this is going to be very high risk because, I'm providing the full liquidity to this chart and this ticker, right? So again, GOVX coming on multiple scanners here, but we want to wait for that volume to arrive. Once we start to see this volume, see this little spike here at the bottom, we can see this yellow moderate histogram bar here letting us know, hey, there's some volume coming in here. That's where we want to start watching, right? Because that's where we're starting to see, hey, there's some value here. I'm not the only one seeing it, right? The whole market, someone's seeing it. I'm not first in the pool, but I'm not last either. You get yourself a nice entry. And if you get in on something like this where you start to see that volume, I mean, look at this setup, right? This is red candles here. Our indicator will tell you, I'll shrink this histogram back down. Our candles will change color for you, right? So these red candles, there's your entry, right? There's your pivot zone. This is where it needs to stay above. This is where your stop loss can be set, right? A mental stop or a hard stop if you prefer that, just below the pivot zone. And if you had your stop here, right, and you're just holding onto this, look at this move. This is incredible. Look at this. Measure this out. All of a sudden, you got yourself a 41% move, almost $1 per share. And this is a 1 minute chart. So this is in less than half a day's time. You're getting yourself a really nice win, right? And you can see that we had multiple opportunities after that as well. So pulled back, so maybe you missed out on this entry. You can see that we have multiple entries here. Here's a pullback, close above, break of structure. There's a bullish signal detected. You can make these a little larger. I've got them smaller so I can see easier. And here we go. Here's another bullish signal detected. Must stay above this zone. Here's your zone for it to stay above. Clear indication of where to get in, where to get out. If it goes below, that's it. We cut it, right? It continues. All of a sudden, here's your candle pullback. There's your close above. There's your entry again. Here's a nice spike. Take profit. Another zone, right? We can see that the indicators now giving us, providing the entries, right? The entry, the exits, and the quick trades if you're looking for that. If you're looking for momentum, well, here it is. Closed above, held the zone, continued up higher, took yourself profit, pull back. Here's a stop out here. This would be a loss for me. As you can see, it closed above, did not hold. But you can see down here, where in the aftermarket, we have very little volume. We want to see those green bars, green histogram bars like we saw over here, where we're trading with a lot of volume, and that's what's important. So again, if I want volume, I want to see this setup, I want to see this get over maybe 375. We've got the indicator that's letting us know that predetermined. But if you don't have these indicators, maybe you want to come in here and mark a few lines and levels where you say, you know what, if it gets above this line and if we can get above this high here, I'm going to use this as my my support. So if we can close above this resistance, it then forms a new support, and then maybe I'm looking at possible half and whole dollar or levels above, right? So again, a really quick way to use the watch list to then aid in pulling up the chart and finding the setup that you're looking for. You're looking for this volume. You're looking for these moves. So yes, we do have these green candles. Yes, we've got some opportunities here, both long and short. But as you can see, this is where the volume is. This is the greatest move of the day, really. And this is the move that I'm typically looking to capture. And you can see our indicators making that really easy. If I turn the indicator off, you can see that these are just the plain candles like this. And of course, you could trade like that as well. But I like to use the indicator. This is the 1 minute bullish pivot pro. Turn that on. Automatically lets me know, hey, it just simplifies it, right? Green candles, that's bullish momentum. I can trade it long. Red candles, that's bearish momentum. I can trade it short, right? So if I'm looking for a long trade, green candles. If I'm looking for a short opportunity or a pullback, maybe a pullback scalp or something, maybe this is where I'm looking for that as well, right? So really simple, guys. Watch list is really made up so that we can, break down these stocks, break down these charts, and set alerts and be prepared. You can set alerts easily with our indicator. I think I can show you that as well. If you just come in here and just click on this, you can add an alert, and you can set this at once per bar close. So if you want to have it endless, once per bar, hit OK, and there you go. All of a sudden now I will get alerts on this as soon as we get that 1 minute bullish pivot pro alert. And you have multiple alerts as well. If I go in here, you can see that you can change the alert to, instead of a pivot watch signal, you can change it to a bullish signal detected, once per bar, create, and there we go. It's that simple, right? We just created the alert. It's all set. It's good to go. I don't need to do anything. I'm prepared, all because the watch list helped me understand what stocks should I be looking at for the possible continuation, possible scalps, And again, if I'm looking at something like this, if I pull up the Trend IQ, which is one of our indicators that we have available. Here's a Trend IQ dashboard here. I'll pull this up. And this will tell me if this is continuation or if this is scalp worthy, right? So if I'm determining, is this going to be a scalp opportunity or is this going to be a continuation type trade? You can see right here, the trade type, continuation watch. So it's telling me that this is a continuation watch type of trade. So if I'm going to get into this one, maybe I want to leave a lotto. Other ones that say maybe scalp or lotto only, then typically maybe I want to just scalp that and get in and out. This one right here, I may want to scalp some of the move, take some of the profit on the way up, and then get myself a lotto and position myself in here early. That way, if it continues, we've got the continuation watch. It's letting us know that. So GOVX is on watch for continuation. It's got to get over 375 first. Then once we clear 375, we've got $4. If we put the confirmation support and resistance on here, right here, if I put this on here as well, we can see some of the lines and levels that we have ahead of us for historical support and resistance. So we've got a mess here, but what it's showing is we've got a little bit of resistance all the way to the 394, and if we can break through that, we're going to see resistance. These red dotted lines, this is going to be weaker resistance. The white line are going to be, or white lines are going to be the strongest resistance, and so typically we're looking at those for possible resistance and continuation. So if we close above resistance, look at that as then support. So you can see this then fill the gap to 378. So if we close over 375 and 378, guys, I think we've got some room here to push up to possibly 394 and $4. And from there, we could continue, and we can see the all the way up through 528 opens up in here and starts to get a little bit bigger gaps, which I like to see. We like big gaps. We cannot lie. Guys, I appreciate your time. I hope you learned something. Again, this is the watch list video, breaking down our watch list. If you did learn anything today, or if you want to join into our Discord, reach out, bullishboblive@gmail.com, and I do appreciate your time. Thanks, guys.